Class, in this video, I just want to walk through how to make a few graphs using Excel. But before doing that, I do want to stress that you don't have to use Excel to create your graphs. You can use another tool. If you have something that works for you, you can draw them by hand if you prefer doing that. But I do want to show you how to use Excel because I think in the long run it will make your life easier. Also, I am not an expert in Excel. I just can do what I need to do. So, if you know more, please feel free to share that with me or the rest of the class. Also, I am using Windows, not an Apple, and all the capabilities that I'll show you are available in either, but sometimes they manifest themselves differently on the Apple. You might have to get to a something a different way. If you can't find it on an Apple and you're looking for it, just send an email to me and I will try to look around as well to try to figure out how to do something. So the first thing I want to do is create a bar graph using the majors that I received from your information. So these are the different majors that you all in the class have, and here's the number of people for each one. And when we're creating a graph, we first highlight the data that we want to graph. So I'm going to highlight the name of the major along with the frequency. If I were to just highlight the frequency, I might have a graph, different bars, but I wouldn't know what they represent. So we're going to highlight the name along with the number. And we go up to the top and we're going to say insert. And here already you see what looks like graphs. Now, I think sometimes the easiest thing to go to is recommended charts because Excel will take a stab at showing us some things based on the data that we highlighted. And right here is a bar graph. Same thing as right here, just positioned differently, but we're going to look for a good old-fashioned bar graph, which I think is this one. And I'm going to click on that and say OK. And that's it. Our bar graph is inserted. You can see we have the names of our majors down here along the horizontal axis or the x-axis. And along here, the y-axis, we have our frequencies. Different things you can do. Let me just move this over. If I hit the plus sign to the right, it gives me all the different options that I have to make changes. And I do think the best way to do things over here is to just play and see what happens. So I'm going to hit Access Titles, and this pops up here. And I'm going to put the word major down here, and then over here, we're going to say frequency because that's what these numbers are. So if I just start typing here, and actually, now that I'm saying that, I'm not even sure. No, I don't think you have to highlight it. I'm just going to start typing, and if you look, you'll see what I'm typing is showing up here. But when I hit enter, it'll come on down here. Likewise, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to type in FREQ for frequency, and I'm going to hit enter, and I have frequency over here along the y-axis, and chart title, I can do the same, and I can just say class majors, and hit enter. And you see that I have my titles, my heading, my bar graphs, criminal justice. You can see this bar goes up to the number 6. The beauty of doing it this way, if I change a number over here, let's say I'm going to change this 6 on criminal justice to a 10. You can see that my bar graph automatically adjusted and raised this bar from a 6 to a 10 for criminal justice. And I'm going to change that back to what it should be. So that is our bar graph. I'm going to delete this for now. I just clicked in the graph and I'm going to hit the delete button. So the other bar graph is a Pareto chart. And the only difference between the bar graph we just did and a Pareto chart is it is going to display whatever data we're displaying, the frequencies in decreasing height order. So what we want to see is criminal justice and health sciences first. We have a lot of the same numbers, unfortunately, but then we'll go down to the number 2, and then we'll go down to the number 1. And there are multiple ways of doing this. The first thing I'm going to do is show you Excel doing it for us. So again, we're just highlighting the data that we want to um, graph, and I'm going to say insert, and I'm going to go over to recommended charts. And I think the way I did this, if you go to all charts, it has this list of all the different charts you can do. And I don't know why, but the Pareto chart I don't see until I hit histogram. It might be the version of Excel I have. Typically, well, I have a new computer, so things have changed recently, but typically I would have seen Pareto chart right in this list. But now if I select histogram, if you look up here, this is what a Pareto chart looks like. These bars are in decreasing height order. So I'm going to click on that, and this is my Pareto chart. So we're going to say OK, and here we see the data has put itself in order in decreasing height. We have our frequencies here, and Excel has took it upon itself to superimpose an ogive. If you remember an ogive, that represents cumulative frequency. So with cumulative frequency, it also gives us the percentage over here on the right. So that's okay. We have an ogive on top of the Pareto. Not necessarily necessary, but that's fine. And we can see our majors in decreasing height order. So these are our most popular, down to an undecided: biology, sport, social, what is that? Sports management, I'm sorry, and communications. So that's one way to do the Pareto. I'm going to delete that again. And the other way is, if you want to manage it more yourself, is you can just put these rows in decreasing by frequency. And I wanted to show you this so that you can see the sort capability. So I've highlighted both the name of the major and the number. If I just highlighted this column, I would get my numbers in the order that I want, but they would be next to the wrong major name. So you have to highlight all of this data. And up here you see a filter, and it says sort and filter. So I'm going to select that. And I tend to go to custom sort. If you go to one of these, Excel might make some assumptions. So if I go to custom sort, I make sure I get what I want. And then it asks me specifically, what do you want to sort by? And I want to sort by the frequency. If I didn't have a column heading, which is what I have here, if I didn't have that, it would just give me the column A, column B, column C, whatever. So I'm going to sort by frequency, and I don't want smallest to largest. I want largest to smallest. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit OK. And it has now sorted my data in decreasing frequency order. And now I can just simply insert a regular old bar graph. And that's this right here. So the only difference between this one and the one we did letting Excel do it, well, a couple of differences. One is when Excel creates that Pareto, it creates it without any space between the bars, and it also superimposes the ogive, which is the cumulative frequency. But either one is fine as far as I'm concerned. And this is just a regular old bar graph in decreasing height order. So that's it for the bar and the Pareto chart. And now I want to go over here to our countries. And this is a frequency of how many people selected these as a country that they want to visit. And if you remember from the PowerPoint, a good chart to use for qualitative data, which is what this is, we just have a list of countries. It's actually nominal data. And a good chart for this is a pie chart. So we are going to highlight this. And again, go to insert at the top. I can go to recommended charts. I can do something else. And here we see a pie chart. And that's it. I have my pie chart. Let me get rid of this one so I can have more space easily available. And let's give it I'm just going to put in the word countries for my heading. And again, you have all different kinds of things that you can do here by hitting the plus sign, data labels. If I just click on that, it gives me the number associated with each of the countries. Again, it's just color coded. Or I can go over here and hit the little caret, and we have different options that we can use and play. If you are concerned about the aesthetics of it, just play around and see what you can get. We can show the percentages versus the value. I just hit percentage here, and here we're getting both. We're getting the value of four people selected. What is green? Portugal, which is 17%. If I just want the percentage, get rid of value, and that's what I get. You can also choose where you want those labels to be. If I want them to be outside, I click outside and I have a percentage, or I can go back to the value or both. So just different things you can do by playing around. So that's it for the pie chart. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. There is a Zoom session this week, which is optional. You'll see that in week 3. Come if you would like, if you have any questions, or separately, just email me. Okay, thanks. Have a good week.